Hey folks, welcome back to Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. So lots of cool stuff happened last time. In particular, we completed all 9 of the original script pages and gained access to room 1963, where Renzo Nero appeared to be a skeleton dead for centuries, and we acquired one of his eyeballs. We also got a bunch of script pages and clues to puzzles, as well as access to new areas of the game. And we still have a bunch of keys left from the second incarnation of the maze to use to get into the various rooms and solve the button puzzles. Let's dive back in. We've got plenty of content to eat our way through today. So let's dive in and get started, shall we? Right off the bat, I want to start off by reading the new script pages we picked up. So this was the script for the third eye. Now, we don't have every page, but there should be a good chunk of story that we can intuit from reading these script pages. We'll start with the first one. Third eye, page 2. Interior. Oh, you know what? Before we get into that, let's review what the third eye is actually about. Okay, we don't actually know. There's no blurb on this. So we have the magician Lorenzo. We have a woman. We've got the symbol of the third eye. There is definitely some information about the third eye in here. Let's see. Yes, meteorites from Tertius Oculus are still found on Earth to this day. In Rubrum Astronomica, Lucius writes, when the third eye passes us by, the world belongs to creators. So there's this conflict between the third eye and Mammon, the, demon of gold and greed, I guess. And there's this brief moment where art can surpass all. But then it must die, and it must be ephemeral and momentary. And then it disappears in gossamer threads, and Mammon returns. Artifacts of these nights will remain among us. Was there something else in here? I feel like there was, but maybe not. All right, let's read the script pages for the Third Eye film. Was there a mention of his film in his biography? Hey, Pila, welcome back to the channel. Etymologist Dream. Dog like all others. Automobile, un animal terrible. Okay, so the third eye seems like it's an unreleased film, an unreleased movie, maybe? I'm not sure. The box cover has art, but there's no blurb. Anyway, let's get into reading these script pages. Interior theater day. Smoke lies thick in a small, tawdry theater. On the hardwood stage, a magician performs. His coat is worn and mended, but once it was expensive. Lorenzo the Great. But alas, the young Mademoiselle Henrietta Dubois could not escape her sordid fate. He yanks the handle to his erythrotrope, and a silhouette of a man stabbing a woman appears on the wall. The crowd stares dumbly at the shadow, and they smile with yellow teeth made for biting. Lorenzo looks at the audience with disgust. He takes out another wheel labeled The Third Eye for Brotherhood use only. He hesitates, but puts the wheel in his contraption. The next story is not meant for the likes of you. It's something I normally only show refined ladies and gentlemen, but I'll make an exception tonight. Those tired, ugly eyes of yours shall see something new. Lorenzo yanks the handle. Thousands of years ago, the third eye shone over the islands in the Far East, but one night, it fell from the sky. A comet passes on the wall. Strangely enough, it quiets down the crowd. They follow the comet while gaping and see it crash to the ground. A human found it, and when she held it, she saw the magic of this world. She had a vision, so she painted a creature in red ochre on a cave wall. Cave paintings show up all over the wall. The crowd is a bit confused by the effect. At night, the crimson beast awoke. It spread chaos and death and devoured the human and her people. A red monster appears. The crowd screams in terror as it attacks them. Some of them have had enough and flee the theater. Lorenzo slows down, and the beast disappears. The story of the red creature became a legend, but the third eye lived on and appears in the most unlikely of places to this day. That is all for tonight. You have been a wonderful audience. Go away. The crowd mutters and leaves. One man, better dressed and cleaner than the rest, remains in his seat. He studies Lorenzo with cold eyes. Brother Tertius. When Lorenzo discovers his presence, his pupils dilate from fear. All right, so Lorenzo here is retelling the story we learned at the magic show, the one of the 4 stories, the only one we were able to purchase. The young girl told us the same story about the third eye falling from the sky, the girl finding it, making a painting of it, and then the beast awakening. The crimson beast. All right. Let's read up on page 6. Interior, Brotherhood Lodge, night. The room is dark, besides the many lit brass candelabra. Lorenzo stands with his hat in hand. 50 men in robes watch him from a long table. At the end of the table, a stern old man ponderously strokes his sideburns. Brother Septimus. A young brother opens a mahogany case and takes out an ornate revolver and a minotaur mask. He looks over at Brother Septimus, who nods to him. The young brother puts on the mask and aims the gun at Lorenzo's hand. Play safe and never pass. Gamble to pass or perish. Lorenzo. Truth above all. Risk my life, brother. Young brother. How many were our first ancient order? Ancient brothers. Lorenzo. 7. Young brother. Correct. The seated brothers raise their goblets and drink. Young brother. What is the punishment for sharing our secrets with outsiders? Lorenzo grabs hold of the table and is about to faint. Death. Young brother. Correct. Lorenzo closes his eyes, but death does not come. Brother Septimus. Under normal circumstances, you would be dead now. Lorenzo. I'm sorry, elder brother. I was not thinking. Weariness and perhaps a crisis of faith. Forgive me, brothers. Brother Septimus. Thankfully for you, these are not normal circumstances. The time is nigh, little brother, and like in the old, we shall send 7 brothers in search of that which was lost. All brothers hold up 7 fingers. Brother Septimus. 6 have already gone searching for omens. You will be the 7th, the disgraced one. Lorenzo. Where will you send me, elder brother? Brother Septimus. Ogenwaldburg. There lives an artist in an old manor. The prophecy mentions her. Go and see, brother, if that which was lost is there. Lorenzo nods. Brother Septimus. The lady suffers from an eye condition that will ultimately render blindness. A sad fate for a painter. Take these vermilion tears. Lorenzo. What do they do, elder brother? Brother Septimus. Nothing at all, but you will use them pretending to cure the lady. That is your guise while you search her house for the third eye. Okay, so the ancient order meets to reprimand Lorenzo, but spares him due to the prophecy about the what was it called? The Nocens Marius, Nocens Loria, something like that. And then I'm still not sure if the old lady who lives here is Renate or us or Lorelei, like future Lorelei. It's pretty weird. Anyway, there's the third eye, page 6. We got a lot of these to get through. This is going to take up a lot of today's stream, but let's dive in to the next one. Page 12. Exterior, Ogenwaldburg Manor, dusk. Hooves clop echoes. Okay, it's subject, verb, object. Clop as a verb, I don't think I've ever seen before. Hooves clop echoes through the dilapidated courtyard. Algae-covered statues silently await the arrival. A pale, sickly horse comes into view, pulling a wagon painted red in a distant past. The pale horse is death in Revelations, perhaps a deliberate reference? Lorenzo walks beside the horse and leads it in by its reins. He ties the horse to an old oak. Be brave, Moors. You have nothing to fear. Lorenzo carefully approaches the front gate. He bangs the knocker. He scans the dirty windows for any sign of life. Finally, the door creaks open, and instantly Lorenzo raises his top hat and takes a bow. A white rose appears in his hand from his hat. The miracle has arrived. An ashen woman in an expensive dress stares through him with milky eyes. Renate Schwarzwald. Okay, so I guess the old woman is Renate. I'm not 100% on that yet, but she's around here somewhere. I do not believe in miracles. Ah, that is why you need one, Baronin. Lorenzo hands the white rose to Renate. It changes color to red. You might as well perform for the shadows. My sight is fading away. Your eyes are fading because there has been nothing to see. Weary eyes need entertainment, and tired souls need miracles. Who are you? Lorenzo the Great, at your service, Baronin. A magus whose name is whispered from the shores of Zanzibar to the frosty peaks of Helsinki, known to beggars and kings alike. Well, you are not known to me. Good evening. Renate is about to shut the gate. Wait! Renate waits. My journey has been a long one. My horse is tired and, to be honest, so am I. Renate looks at the very sickly-looking horse. I had 4 once during better times, but ironically, Morse is the only one who lives. Very well. All right, so he arrives at the Augenwaldenberg estate, meets Renate, who reluctantly allows him to spend the night and rest. Page 18. Interior Augenwaldenberg Manor dining room, day. An oversized dead goose lies on the oaken dining table. Lorenzo devours his portion in a loud manner. Renate tries to hide her disgust. Is the room satisfactory? Yes, I slept like a piglet. So it was not you I heard last night? Lorenzo drinks wine and coughs to buy some time. I was up briefly, yes. He takes out a small vial from his sleeve. My vermilion tears, they need moonlight not to lose their magic. I took the liberty to use one of the windows in your studio. Renate looks amused. I took another liberty and studied some of your work. The portraits are, of course, excellent, but I am most intrigued by the drawings of signs. My Himmelskörper suite. What inspired them? Renate ignores the question. Magician, might I ask you a strange question? Oh, who am I to refuse an answer? Did you see a labyrinth while you were in the park? A labyrinth? A red labyrinth. The only labyrinth I saw was the portrait of the man with a labyrinth instead of a face. Renate stands up angrily. I've made no such portrait. Your lies have ceased to amuse me. I know why you are here, and I know where to look for it, but I will hold you to your word. Lorenzo looks like he's about to assure Renate of his pure intentions. Cure my eyes. I know why you are here, and I know where to look for it. But I'll only tell you if you cure my eyes. Interesting. Okay, so they're kind of playing games with each other. But she knows more than he thinks. He's trying to deceive her, and she sees right through him. It's interesting that she declaims that she's not made a portrait of a man with a labyrinth head instead of a face. I guess she knows about the legend of the third eye, too. Interesting. All right, page 25. Interior Augenwaldberg Manor, Renate's room, day. The curtains have been drawn. Renate lies on top of the bed, a trace of a smirk on her lips. Lorenzo looks gravely serious on the side of the bed. Are you ready for your miracle, Baronin? Yes. Lorenzo spills a single drop of vermilion tears into Renate's left eye. She blinks, and Lorenzo drops another tear into the right eye. It might be a few days before it takes effect. Renate's eyes start to boil, and she screams in unfiltered agony. Lorenzo backs away in horror. Lorenzo holds his hands over his ears to protect himself against her looping, deafening screams. Everything turns black. Lorenzo, out of sight. It's just eye drops. It's just eye drops. It's just eye drops. Then, quiet. Lorenzo stirs to life on the floor. He sees Renat lying lifeless on the bed. Lorenzo checks her pulse in a hurry. She's still alive. Apparently, he has, at some point, put a bandage around her head. 2 red dots mark the eyes, giving Renat a disturbing appearance. Baronin, can you hear me? I can hear you, magician. They tell me you are not invited. Invited where? To the cavern. I followed the echoes of my screams. They were waiting for me. Who was waiting for you? Our ancient sisters and brothers in the Far East. They're sharing the secret with me, but they won't share it with you. The cavemen think you are an obsequious ignoramus who palters through existence. Baronin, you must rest now. The labyrinth. They drew it on the wall. Go and see by the window. They say I should defenestrate you, but we have an agreement. Lorenzo slowly trudges against the window. Moonlight shines on his weather-bitten face. He looks out the window. A giant garden labyrinth has appeared in the park. Do you see it, magician? Yes. Do you see me in the labyrinth? Lorenzo squints. It's very dark. Yes, I see you. Do you see you? What do you mean? Can you see yourself in the labyrinth? Of course not. I'm not there. Neither am I. Lorenzo turns around and bumps into Renat. The red dots on the bandage have grown substantially, looking like giant red bug eyes. She puts her hand on Lorenzo's face. The room turns red. Interior, garden labyrinth, night. Lorenzo gasps in disorientation. He's now somewhere in the labyrinth. Lorenzo quivers from fear. Renat smiles at him. Her bandage is gone, and a pair of lovely hazel eyes look at Lorenzo with affection. This is the place from my childhood. I'm over there. Renat points behind Lorenzo. He turns his head to look. A girl wearing an owl mask watches him from behind. Owl girl. She runs and disappears behind a corner. Renat takes Lorenzo's hand. Come! Together they run in the labyrinth. Renat seems to know her way while Lorenzo is trying to make sense of the strange space. A red hue suddenly appears on their faces. It's the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. They smile, with tears running down their cheeks. The light grows stronger, and the cosmos plays music just for them. Wow, okay, it's getting weird. It's getting weird up in here. So the girl in the owl mask is Renat, the Baronin, the artist, the owner of the hotel. Lorenzo came here to deceive her, but ended up accidentally giving her truth. Like, I don't know whether Brother Septimus's vermilion tears were real or not, but she gains a new kind of sight. She sees the ancient ones from the Far East, from the island where the legend originated. The third eye fell for the first time. They don't like him. This is really, really cool stuff. It's a lot to take in. There's a lot of script pages here, and it's a lot of reading, but very cool stuff. Really cool lore. All right, page 49. Interior, Augenwaldberg Manor, Library, day. Renat's hand moves frantically across a canvas. Lorenzo sits in an armchair by the window with his top hat on his knee, posing for a portrait. There's movement inside his top hat. I think it might have been a maze, not a labyrinth. I'd say interchangeable. A labyrinth prolongs the path, while a maze is for getting lost. And we are lost. It's a big house. It can sometimes be disorienting. We have seen it. I think the price of admission might be an eye and a leg. Lorenzo leans forward and his hat falls to the floor. A red owl flutters out of the hat in front of Lorenzo. He stares at it in surprise. That was a very clever trick. The owl perches on the top of a bookshelf. Lorenzo, half chanting as if reading. And when the third eye blinked, the red beast laid an eye within. The third eye closed, and their bastard offspring was born thousands of years later. Renat studies her canvas and is a bit confused. A realistic portrait of a man in a dark suit, but where his head is supposed to be, there's a red glowing maze. Renat notices 2 tickets in his hand. She takes them and stares at them. Teatro Rosso. So Lorenzo himself represents being lost, the magician, the powerful one, but the one who is lost, who doesn't know what to do with his power, I suppose. It's a very strange, and symbolic tale. We only got 3 script pages left. Page 57 here. Interior theater night. An excited, faceless valet points at a red curtain. Lorenzo and Renat look at each other and then step through it. Rows and rows of seats. It's much too large to be inside the manor. Lorenzo stares in disbelief at the giant theater. It seems empty, but the murmuring from the crowd is deafening. Gaslight illuminates the stage. Someone clears his throat behind them, and a featureless usher points towards the first rows. Renat and Lorenzo silently descend the stairs toward their seats. A fanfare. The lights dim. A man dressed as Lorenzo and wearing a Lorenzo mask rides a prop horse onto the stage. Lorenzo. What is this? Lorenzo knocks on a door mid-stage, and an actress wearing a mask resembling Renat opens the door. Applause. The light intensifies on stage and blinds Lorenzo and Renat. On the stage, a comet hanging from a wire passes. Renat and Lorenzo avert their eyes, then the comet is gone. The stage is empty. A lone, hesitant clap from somewhere further back. The actress playing Renat walks on stage. She holds her hands in front of her, blood flowing from her eyes. Actress. Please hold me. The actor playing Lorenzo steps on stage purposefully. Lorenzo and Renat watch their theater alter egos on stage in grim silence. Their hands join. Lorenzo drags a stylized prop window onto the stage. Renat wanders, sobbing blood. Lorenzo tries to place the window in front of Renat, making her fall out. The crowd howls with laughter as Lorenzo gets more frustrated every time Renat misses the window. Please hold me. Please hold me. Finally, Lorenzo has enough. He grabs Renat and shoves her with full force through the glass window and from the stage. Renat lands with a thud and crack. Theater blood squirts into Lorenzo's face. Lorenzo forms a fist and rises. Enough! Lorenzo watches him silently. The whole theater boo. Lorenzo to Renat. Let's go. But Renat is gone from her seat. In fact, she's nowhere to be found. Lorenzo looks around in a panic, but it's like she vanished into thin air. The actress playing Renat comes back to life and is elevated by strings into the air. She bows and receives applause. The actress turns her head to Lorenzo, and she takes off the Renat mask. Beneath it is a featureless face. The actress whispers, To be gifted is to be infested. Ideas are tiny red eggs in your brain. To the microscope, they still look the same, the good and the bad, but look at the time. Lorenzo slowly walks off stage, his footsteps echoing through the empty theater. He moves towards Lorenzo. Lorenzo turns to run, but his doppelganger catches up with him. The doppelganger removes the mask, and behind it, Maze Man, his head buzzing in an electrical manner. She's waiting for you. Here's an idea. Follow my daughter. The Maze Man puts his hand over Lorenzo's eyes. Dude, what is going on in this game? What have they written here? This is insane. Maze Man claiming to be Renat's daughter, perhaps? Or father, perhaps? I wonder if we could give her the name Maze Man, but I suspect we'll need his actual name. We can try it, though. All right, page 85. Interior, Augenwaldberg Manor, corridor, day. A disoriented Lorenzo finds himself in the hotel corridor. A phone rings somewhere. Further down the hall, he sees the owl girl. Lorenzo to the owl girl. Where is she? The girl flaps her arms and hoots. Lorenzo. Enough games! The owl girl disappears down a corner. Lorenzo stomps after. The owl girl waits for him at the end of the next corridor. Suddenly, a black Labrador runs up to him and barks. Lorenzo looks at the dog with surprise. His tag reads Rudy. Rudy lies down and plays dead on the rug. As he does, Rudy changes from black to white. Finally, the dog cramps and then contorts into a cat. A payphone rings on the wall. Lorenzo lifts the receiver. Telephone voice. Why are you answering the phone? Lorenzo remains silent. There are no phones in 1847, you cretino. Lorenzo grunts. Hang up the phone and go chase the owl girl, just like the script says. Lorenzo hangs up. He sees the owl girl with a limp cat in her hand. Lorenzo runs after her, corridor after corridor. Lorenzo runs fast, with determination, but the owl girl is always around yet another corner. He never catches up with her. Lorenzo turns a corner. There is no owl girl, but a mirror. Lorenzo sees himself briefly, and behind him stands a man in sunglasses and a dark suit. Lorenzo regards the man in the mirror. But the mirror changes, and Renat appears, levitating like a ghost. Stylish sunglasses obscure her eyes. Renat, with a man's voice. I'm waiting for you upstairs. I looked so serious, you might want to go check. Renat vanishes from the mirror. Lorenzo is left with the image of himself. He looks weary. He turns and goes. His footsteps echo through the empty hotel/manor. So we're getting so many repeats. We're getting so many like recurring themes and motifs and repetitions of scenes and moments and dialogue. And then there's all this meta-narrative too, like the fact that there's all this anachronistic timey-wimey stuff, things that shouldn't be, software in 1963, a Game Boy and a Dreamcast in 1963, right? Phones in 1847. And the person writing the script, writing about himself, writing about this metaphorical story, and then writing this script about the manor/hotel that he's already bought and turned into a hotel. Like Lorenzo is Nero, will be Nero, has been Nero, and the Brotherhood. It's just, there's like, it is a maze. The whole script, the whole story is a maze that you get lost in. The whole feel, the whole like center token, the icon holding everything together is the maze. And they've taken the concept of a maze and turned it into a story and a video game. That's why the house is so damn hard to navigate. It's a maze too. Everything's a maze. This game is amazing. Pun intended, I guess. All right, the last script page here, the third eye, page 91. Also, I think probably the script numbers are probably important for something later. I just don't know what yet. Interior, Augenwaldberg Manor, staircase, second floor corridor, night. At the end of the dark hallway, Lorenzo sees a dark shape. Lorenzo very slowly approaches it. It's Renat with her back turned to him. Lorenzo stops. A long silence. Renat with a man's voice. You keep sending the wrong goose to the butcher. Lorenzo. Baronin? Renat. Baronin? I think the Baronin would perhaps hear talk about her ascension. She can say something to the effect of, I have good news for you. We are not artists. We are not even art. When it comes down to it, we are all just paint. Aren't you happy with this news, magician? Renat switches voices again. And he would say, Lorenzo keeps his silence in defiance. Renat, why is this so hard for you? Why do you think of these things? This is unimportant. There are symbolic values and mirror images, yes, but none of this matters, signorina. Had you read my manifesto, you would have known it was never meant for viewing. Lorenzo looks confused for a moment. Lorenzo. Please, Baronin, let's leave this place. Every maze has a solution. Renat sighs heavily. Renat. You really understand nothing at all. But if you understood, you would never have played your part. Time for entertainment. Here is her last performance. Renat turns slowly around. Her face is hidden by shadows. Lorenzo takes a step forward. Her eyes are empty craters. Red paint runs down her cheeks. Renat in her own voice. Hold me. Please hold me. Lorenzo backs away. Renat. Please hold me. Please hold me. Lorenzo backs further. Renat's arms flailing, searching for him like tentacles, paint dripping everywhere she goes. Please hold me. Lorenzo's eyes widen with fear as she comes closer. Her touch disgusts him. Suddenly, Renat increases her pace and she touches his face. Please, hold me. Lorenzo instinctively pushes Renat with full force. Smiling, she falls towards the large window. The Baronin crashes through it and down to the ground below. Lorenzo stares at the window in shock. He steps toward the window. Rain patters against his face. On the gravel below lies a mangled corpse. Damn. So it seems like in game, Nero, the eccentric, crazed artist, Nero is some kind of like version or incarnation, or maybe Lorenzo, the original Lorenzo, his madness cracked him into Nero. Nero Renzo, right? Instead of Lorenzo, he's Nero Renzo. Nero. Well, Nemo is Nemo is no man. I feel like Nero's Latin for something. Hold on. Do we have Nero in the Roman phrases thing? Abimo pectore. Magnum opus, memento mori, memento morum. I'm looking for the word Nero. Yeah, it's not here. Okay. But like, I think Nero's the cracked fourth dimensional version of Lorenzo that has seen the truth, which is that he's a character in a video game that was created by another artist, an artist at Simogo, the game designer, the writer, and that everything has to be done in a certain way. And in point of fact, his great art, his final piece, is not meant to be viewed by creatures within its own universe, within its own cosmos. It's meant to be viewed by me, the player, the gamer, from outside of his universe, so like foreign entity that he can't understand or interact with. His art is meant for me, not for any characters living inside the reality that they inhabit as characters, I think. Like, the question of the laser eyes, like, what do you see? The blindness, the mirrors, the reflections. It's all about, like, perspective, too. God damn, this game is good. All right, okay. So with that, we've read all the script pages and burned through 30 minutes of me reading out loud. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I needed to go through that. I needed to go through it. I definitely needed to see all of that. And we may have to come back to that later. I'm not sure. But we've got more to explore here. There's an American dollar there. So we've got this path and this path. And then we've got a new door, which we could open. So let's do so. Let's use the 1938 key here. And go check out another puzzle, shall we? Okay, so it's another kind of perspective-oriented thing. Let's take a look at the sign here. Using modern techniques, the artist plays with perception in 1938. Twisted perspectives appear correct, small appears big, yet always with an equal. We are thus to believe that truths come in pairs. Matching our own truth is another truth hung on display for everyone to see. So we've got untitled perspective painting. We've got lots of numbers here and paintings. Is there anything else in this room that we need to see? I don't think so. And then it looks like the camera's in a fixed position. So we need a way to spell out 1938. There are, yeah, if we look at our memory of the 1938 door, it's this box, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 on each side, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paintings. Yeah, the paintings I think represent the buttons. And this says something about pairs. Twisted perspectives appear correct, small appears big, yet always with an equal. Truths come in pairs. Okay. So I can move and zoom. So like I can get those as a pair, or I can get those as a pair. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this means or how to solve this. I guess Truths appear as a pair? I don't fully understand this one. Huh. So, like, the 4 is kind of interesting, because as you move it, different things kind of interact with it. Six. How would we... Like, how far in can I zoom here? I can zoom all the way in, but what does that do for me? I'm not entirely clear on how to solve this one, I don't think. Like, if I zoom in a lot, how does it change it? What does it do? Like, if I frame the 6... Not sure what that means. Same with the 1. If I zoom in all the way, I can get either of those paintings in the bubble. Is it... Am I looking for pairs? Like, that's a pair of 1s, maybe? I'm not sure I understand this one. We're in the 1938 room, right? So 1, 9, 3, and 8. There's 5 paintings on the wall. Twisted perspectives appear correct. Small appears big. Yet always with an equal. Truths come in pairs. Small appears big, always with an equal. So, like, 9... I don't get this one. How would I... Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. The 9 and the 8 don't really have... Is there an order here? Maybe there's an order here. Maybe it's telling me the order of the numbers. So, like, 4, 0, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 3, 1, 6 would be the order? Maybe. So, like, that's 4, that's 0. That's 2. I mean, maybe. 4, 0, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 3, 1, 6. It could be. It could be. So then, like, all right. So if this was the puzzle box solution, then it's just the numbers map one to the other. So it's like 4, 0, 2, 5, 7. And then the right-hand side is 8, 9, 3, 1, 6. 8, 9, 3, 1, 6. And then we're trying to spell out 1938. Maybe. I'll give that a try. If not, I might have to leave this puzzle box for a minute because I'm not sure I understand what else to do there. I thought it was something about pairs and perspective, trying to get them to work together. Let's see. Can we go? We can go downstairs here. Where does this take us to? The 3 door. Okay. I mean, there's a lot going on here, too. There's like a trap door here. There's a note on the sculpture. All right, we'll come back to this. I want to see if I can find a shortcut that lets me back into the lower part of the house. There's definitely a lot of weird stuff going on here. Puzzle Man does puzzle things. Hey, Gorilla Wolf, welcome back to the channel. We'll use the 3 key. Okay, we've got more puzzle box doors here. 6782 or 5782. There's a shortcut here. That may be what I want. Where does this go? Oh, gaming room 2. We've got the second console here. Okay, that's fantastic because that means I think we can get to the center of the maze. The first maze anyway. All right, we want to bust through this shortcut door. Let's figure out puzzle number 5. Okay. So what is y minus x? Interesting question. So how do we determine the values of y and x? 13 plus 87 is 100. 43 plus 21 is 64 plus 36 is 100, right? And then down at the bottom, 11 plus 13 is 24 plus 76 is 100. So y should be 100, right? And then x should be 100 minus the remainder of those numbers. So 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 16 is 28, plus 18 is 46, 78, so 22. If x is 22, then y, and y is 100, then the answer should be 78. Or just, yeah, just the remainder, 78. Okay. All right, there we go. Man, we've got so much stuff to explore now. It's kind of crazy. All right, so we've made our way back here. Good news, good news. And then I want to go... No, I want to go into the puzzle room. Okay. Let's see if our guess about the 1938 room was right. I got to find the correct puzzle box first. I think... Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. So, we want to put out 1938, which would be... 1, 9... and then 3, and then 8. That's not it. Damn. I really thought I might have been onto it there. Just double check that I got this right. 1, 9, 3, 8. Yeah, it doesn't work. I don't know how to make sense of that puzzle room, though. That one's weird. Gorilla Wolf, now that you're here, maybe we can... Maybe you have an insight. Okay, so here's the 1938 puzzle room. And the inscription talks about... small appears big, yet always with an equal. We're thus to believe that truth comes in pairs. Matching our own truth is another truth hung on display for everyone to see. Small appears big, but always with an equal. So, like, I can zoom around from this perspective. I can move the camera left or right, and I can zoom in or out. It says small appears big, but always with an equal. I don't know what that means or how to... Like, I can't... I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Like, I can zoom way, way, way in. But I can't zoom... I can't move the camera up or down. Only left or right. So like if I slowly move left here, I don't really see pairs. I don't see connections. I'm not sure what it means. Like this is one of the numbers. This is 6. But if I zoom in, I don't know how to solve this. Is that like a... Is that meant to be a 3 or... Like I can't change their relation to each other. It doesn't seem to matter how far I zoom in. I'm not seeing anything in the paintings. And then like 9 and 8 are on their own. I need to spell out 1983 somehow, but they're like, which button is it connected to? Which painting is matched to each thing? If I zoom all the way in, do I see anything here? Like that doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything that I can zoom in like that and see this little white square. I guess these are kind of similar, these two paintings. So like if I zoom in, right? It kind of is similar to this. It's kind of similar to that one. That one's radically different. Like, I really don't understand the puzzle here at all. I might have to just give up on this one for a while and come back to it later. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what I'm trying to do with this camera technique. Could it be a red herring or... Like you can't, there's nothing else you can do. Small appears big. Maybe the paintings are twins of each other? Maybe there's some relation between the paintings and the sculptures. But the buttons on the puzzle box have to represent numbers. I don't see how the numbers and the paintings are related at all. I just don't. All right, I'm gonna have to move on from this one. This one's very odd, and I don't understand it. I'll come back and think about it another day. All right, so we haven't been this way yet. What do we have here? A door with dueling pistols. A revolver door. Don't have that key. All right. What else we got going on? So before we go through the 3 door, what else have we got going on in here? Anything? We got this trap door here and a sculpture. We have a phonograph. I guess we'll start the music. That's strange. It's just empty static? That's pretty odd. We do have a note here. The sculpture has something in its forehead and a note stuck to it. Read the note first, obviously. I was worried you had set a trap for me, Signorina. But it was completely safe to take the object. The trapdoor did not open. You are good at mind games. Well, that in and of itself could be a mind game, right? Let's take the object and see if we fall. Obtain the I key. Okay, well now we've got the I key. That might open up another part. When we left, it cracked open, huh? Oh, fascinating. It did open briefly. That's so weird. What does that mean? Okay. We've got some more puzzle doors here. Let's take a look around, see what else we can do. We did get through this shortcut door, so that's unlocked. Get the 1957 door. Get the 1982 door. All right, let's do these one at a time. What was this? 57? All right. Another camera perspective puzzle. Maybe I can figure this one out. Can white exist without black? The artist challenges dualism, then leads us astray to present us with the idea that what we believe is only a half-finished thought. We're left with a revelation. To form new ideas and beliefs, all we need to do is look up from what we previously thought was true. Okay. That one was pretty obvious. So we combine these symbols, and I think we get some numbers here for this puzzle box. So like this would be 9. This would be 8. 3. Hold on, I have to write these down now. So it's like 9, 8, 3. 5. That's 1 and 4. Then we have 7 and 6. And then lastly over here we have 2 and 0. Okay, this one I can solve right away. Very cool. Very cool. I think we go do that. So that was the 1957 room, right? Let's go solve that one. Which one is it? It's this one? 1957. Yeah, okay. So this should be... That's 8, 3, 5, 1. And then we want 9. And then 5. And then 7. Nice. It's good some of them are gimmies. Yeah, no kidding. So we got another biography page from Renat's biography. By the late 1950s, focus shifted to her own independent work. She crammed a century of art into a decade, including traditional painting as well as short films and animations. If one should highlight her work in the late 50s, her 1957 exhibition Suche, which included a series of photo dream collages, was probably her most outstanding work. Okay. I don't know if that's a word we can say to her. Let's go ahead and keep doing doors for now. There's a lot more to find and get through. All right, here is the 1982 door. Okay, nothing but a television? All right, let's read the plaque here first. Video installation. Every day we visit parallel realities on our screens. In 1982, the artist employs this idea to show us how we can perceive the same space in different ways. The work itself leaves us wondering about which is most true, the reality around us or the one on our screens. Okay, let me remind myself, what does the 1982 door look like, or puzzle box look like? Okay, so it's 10 digits around a central, or... Yeah, 10 digits around a rectangle in kind of a circle. Okay. Okay, so I think I understand. The things are in a ring. 6 is at the front of the rectangle. I think. Let's go 6, 9, 4, 2. 6, 9, 4, 2. 6, 9, 4, 2. 1, 3, 0, 5. 1, 3, 0, 5. Six, 9, 4, 2, 1, 3, 0, 5, 8, 7. And then we're back around. Okay, I think I can solve this one. Let me just interact with it again. Make sure it doesn't change. It does not. Okay. So I think this one I can solve too. Let's go take care of this before we forget what we think we've learned. I wonder if there's a way to get that trap door to open. I should really save the game here soon. Okay, so I sort of have to guess. Okay, so I think we're gonna say this is 6. So if I want to get 1982, I'm guessing this is 6, which makes that 9, then 4, 2, 1. So that's 1. That's 9. Then 6, 7, 8. And then this should be 2. Okay, that was not correct. So then maybe I'm off by 1. If this is 6 and not 9, then 9, 4, 2, 1. 2, 4, 9. 6, 7, 8. 5, 0, 3, 1, 2. Okay, there we go. Another piece of her biography. Delphine Pitoif, member of the cult avant-garde band Electrique, was one of the many who had joined the Third Eye. And like many, Pitoif left in the big exodus after the infamous pilgrimage to Sulawesi in 1982. She seemed too sharp to believe in this stuff the rest of us had fallen for. She acted as if she searched for buried treasure, but she had something hopeless in her eyes. Those eyes, how far did they see? Okay, well, we're making progress. That's the good news. Don't understand anything about the story really yet. I mean, I have hints and ideas and kind of like half-formed thoughts. But in terms of the plot, I don't know where we're heading here. This is her room, right? There is some new stuff we could say to her. There's no space. So I can't spell out Maze Man. I can put Sucha. That was a thing. Okay. Yikes. Not sure how to read that. So, where did Sucha come from? It ties a bunch of years together, right? That's the cafe. Yeah. Sucha was the exhibition. That's for 1957. Delphine Electrique, I think, is probably another one. What does she say? Photo collages. That was Sucha. Pitoff's band, Electrique. Yeah, okay. Electrique. I think I spelled that right. Yeah, she's got all kinds of stuff going on here. Is that 2014? Yeah, that looks like 2014 to me. So we're linking years. We're linking years. Like we've got this one. I'm not quite sure what that represents. Most likely the first symbol is 1. That's weird, man. I don't know about this one. I might have to come back and look at this one a little bit. That one we figured out. This one I'm pretty sure is 2014. 2014. That makes sense to me. We may be able to get the other one by process of elimination, but all right. For now, let's head back down. You know, we did get the key to this other bust head, which is not here. Where is it? I think it's downstairs and then... Yeah, it's over here, isn't it? Let's put the I key. See what this does. Yeah, there we go. More stuff revealed. Very cool. We got the heart store. That we can open. No problem. Previous old lady cafe vision. The key was the intersection of the red lines. Yeah. Yeah. I think each of the old lady red... That's Renat, by the way. We're pretty sure. For a time, I thought it might be future Lorelei. But it seems pretty clear now that it's Renat after today's stream. And Renat, her visions seem to be linking years to years. The year that gives you the clue of what to say to her is from a biography page that has like a number on it, or from a door puzzle that has a number associated with it. And then she gives you a symbol that represents another year. That seems to be the pattern so far. Okay, so past the heart door, we just have this one room. American dollar. There's a scrapbook. Seems like the scrapbook's the only thing I can really interact with. Scrapbook's full of newspaper and magazine clippings. Oh boy, more reading, you guys. Like a lot more. There's years here, though. Lots of years. Look at this. Connected issue 3, 2022. It's insane. The time travel nonsense that's going on in this game. So Dusseldorf Post. There would be... We would have, like, lunar information for some of these years, too. Toys on display in museum. Interactive exhibition opens this weekend. Citizens in Dusseldorf visiting Bauschinger Kunstinstitut in hopes of seeing beautiful paintings on display will be severely disappointed. Curator Anna Catherine Brown states that the art of the future will require participation. The spectator will interact with the artwork and perhaps even co-create it. The first wave of this so-called art is an exhibition called Verschlosse Erinnerungen, spearheaded by Lorelei Weiss. Wait a minute, now it's Lorelei Weiss. That's us. This is from 53. A lesser-known artist from Frankfurt who thought it necessary to litter a fine institution like Bauschinger with childish puzzle boxes that only the most fixated could possibly open. A fine product for country fairs, no doubt, but Fraulein Weiss's clothing and insistence upon wearing sunglasses indoors suggests that she has the hubris to think that her trinkets belong in the upper echelons of art society. Opening boxes in search of locked memories is a prime example of what is wrong with art today. Well, this critic doesn't get it. Anything that's different from what I expect can't be real art. Go learn something, jerk. This is from Technique and Photography, issue 8, 1960, which I think is a solution to one of the maze questions that the Brotherhood are posing us. I think there's an interview in here with Nero. Let's see. Report from Electronic Arts Symposium. Engineers are artists in this innovative exhibition. Earlier this week, the exciting Electronic Arts Symposium took place in Kirchsteiger Mess. The exhibition is open to everyone and hopes to show the exciting happenings in the world of electronic devices and how they can be used for more than work and calculations. Among the selected artists was Lorelei Weiss, known for her puzzle boxes and recently her innovative use of computers. Her contribution caused quite a sensation as its deliberate malfunction caused some panic. Weiss is not too keen to talk about what the work of art meant. she does not want to end discussions by giving a correct answer. Veteran art critic Morris Talbot insisted it was a comment on the unreliability of technology, but concept artist Eiichi Tanaka thought that Weiss wanted to show us the death of an artwork. Yeah, I remember she made the parodic computer that gets everything wrong, right? We have a Cinema Ochio issue 4, 1962, an Animal Terrible review. There can be little doubt that Renzo Nero is not a filmmaker for everyone's tastes. His critics find him crude yet pretentious. His latest film won't win them over, but I don't think Nero cares. Un Animal Terrible is, in many ways, an experiment in audience participation. A number of scenes present the audience with tough choices about what should happen next. Regardless of the audience choices in Un Animal Terrible, the film always ends with Lucia coming back to life. This interactive film thus makes fun of its own concept of interactivity. Nero says that this is a comment on the illusion of democracy, but it works just as well as a joke about the illusion of interactivity. We like to think that we affect outcomes, but in truth, most of us are mere spectators, superfluous, tired eyes. It's the participation that in the end makes Un Animal Terrible such an intense viewing. This should be essential viewing for anyone remotely interested in the development of narrative media, but be warned, it is not a pleasant film by any means. Here's the Journal du Sud, which we saw in one of the memories, the memory quizzes, the Berensraugen or whatever, the interrogations. Renzo Nero wins big in Monte Carlo. Will spend the money on a new film project. So we saw this headline but couldn't read the article before. The director caused some mirth when he arrived in Club Rouge with a grocery bag stuffed with American dollar bills and stated that he was there to clean house. According to witnesses, Renzo Nero was in good spirits and joked with both staff and other patrons. Despite the rumors about Renzo Nero when it comes to romance, our reporter, Miss Melissa Dubois, caught Renzo Nero in the company of starlet Carla Romano and socialite Felicia LeVay, both drinking champagne, with the big winner celebrated with a double espresso. Were you not afraid to lose such an amount? No, first of all, it was not my money. Secondly, I had seen in the stars that I would win. There was no reason to worry. Risky business, gambling with the production budget. If you lost, there would be no movie. There would be no movie, but it's better to have no movie than a bad movie. I needed more money than the studio gave me. Do you think you've set an example for other filmmakers? No, it was a terrible idea that turned out very well. Casinos are crooks. I got lucky. I would recommend filmmakers to rob banks instead, because gambling is immoral. Good luck with your next picture, Mr. Nero. Thank you, Bella Melissa. It will be the one. We're restarting cinema from the beginning, to the time when celluloid was magic, not for passing the time between hamburgers. And there was a playing card hidden behind the article. Excellent. We got the Ace of Clubs. Man, we are just barreling through content here. It is non-stop successes. Das Nordos Journal. This is from 63, which is this year. A couple months from now. Yeah. Death at Hotel Letzis Jahr. Hotel last year. Police are coy about details. The police are investigating a death that occurred at Hotel Letzis Jahr yesterday evening. The hotel's been closed for the season, but according to neighbors, there had been a film shoot in the weeks past. The police won't confirm that there's any correlation between the film production and the death. Commissar Schmidt, who's in charge of the investigation, refuses to release any further information. The investigation is in a delicate phase at the moment, and therefore the deceased's identity will not be released at this time. We cannot rule out the possibility of a crime, and as such it is standard procedure to treat it like a murder investigation. The police commented earlier this morning. From 1982, the Central European Times, November 29th. Report from the inside. The Third Eye Movement, cult or commune, our reporter secretly joined the pilgrimage. I was confused when I received an invitation to an eye-to-eye session from the Third Eye Movement. After some research, mostly consisting of buying fellow writers a drink, my confusion turned to excitement. The Third Eye Movement is apparently a gathering of painters, musicians, composers, directors, photographers, and writers. And so I thought it was in my capacity as a Mendig Award journalist that I was invited. Jose Mari Gil, the European branch's Magnus Magister Artis, maintained that it was due to a little red collection of poetry I released back in the 60s. Jose Mari made it clear that it would not occur to him to let journalists into their mists, as journalism is a reactive craft and not a creative one. You see, the Third Eye Movement is solely for those filled with the power of creation. This is really interesting. Like the way they're wording this, the game designer and the developers, those people are the creative ones. I am the reactive one. I am the passive audience. Like it's an interactive game, But just like Unanam El Terrible, the ending will always be the same. The meta-narrative here is like intense and in your face. They are very aggressive with it. You see, the third eye movement is solely for those filled with the power of creation, something I would hear more about in the weeks to come. What I thought was a secret club for the avant-garde bohemians was something entirely different. It was like being offered a seat at King Arthur's Round Table. I suddenly found myself part of a quest. Not for the Grail, but something else. A metaphysical power, an entity, a treasure of sorts. No one knew or wanted to tell me, but it was clear that it had, perhaps thousands of years ago, appeared somewhere in Sulawesi. The members whispered of it as a zeitgeist, and they now believe it was to be found in Central Europe. Okay, Art Filter, Issue 2, 2014. Where are they now, Lorelei Weiss? Our search for the elusive computer image innovator who never entered the spotlight. Unearthing obscure artists is the archaeology of the 21st century. Whether it's a long-dead naivist painter from Sweden, a minimalist composer from Latvia, or a mediocre Edwardian horror writer, they're all dug up and put on display. Obscurity adds value to a body of work, and by digging them up, we deprive them of that value. But the thing about Lorelei Weiss's most interesting art is that it can't be sold, because no one really knows if it exists anymore. Gallery owner Gaston Rousseau pours us a coffee in his apartment in Paris. Last year, he started to research the possibility of doing an exhibition which would act both as a tribute and a retrospective of the eclectic artist. He'd hoped to recreate her lost art with the help of Weiss herself and today's most admired names in computer art. She was the Gauguin of the electronic era, Rousseau tells Art Filter. If all of Gauguin's work had been burned, that is. Weiss was an elusive figure even when she was in zenith, but after the Nero affair, for which she is sadly most remembered, few have met her. Through Rousseau's network in the art world, he managed to track her down in Hamburg and swiftly traveled to arrange a meeting with her. I was too late. I had such big plans. Maybe I was a fool to believe that I could create a renaissance for a long-forgotten electronic art pioneer. The old woman I met could hardly see, let alone speak. It didn't look like she had much time left. And finally, Connected Issue 3 from 2022. The Internet Mystery of the OCU3. Truth or fake? We dive deeper into the modern myth of the 1960s supercomputer. We've all heard the story by now. In Augen-Waldberg, where entrepreneurs Mick Otto and Rob Gibe are building a Euro funland, complete with golf courses, spas, and restaurants, a construction worker came upon a computer believed to be from the 1960s, the OCU3. First found in what was the basement of the old mansion which previously stood on the grounds, it was later sold at a flea market and eventually ended up in the hands of an anonymous individual known as Pooty on several forums. Pooty, then, claims to have managed to reconstruct parts of the data on the OCU3. We've all seen the results on the internet. We've all been astonished by it. And we've all asked ourselves the same questions. Was this type of technology available in the 1960s? Could an entire interactive retrospective be made or even fit on the primitive devices of that time? In the coming weeks, we'll try to answer these questions and dive deeper into the mystery of the OCU3. I wonder if Pooty is the password that we need for the supercomputer. It is referencing the OCU3 here. All right, well, that was a lot of reading, a lot of script pages from the Third Eye, a lot of news clippings there. But we've made progress. We've got tons more to do. We can grab another card. We can explore more of the mansion. There's more puzzle box rooms to go to. There's a lot going on here. Wait a minute, is that a document tube? Oh, we already had this one. Damn it, I still don't know where the document tube is with the map for floor 1. Yeah, we have unlocked a lot though. There's like a whole bunch more rooms here. Oh yeah, we got to another game room 2. Pooty is a reference to the highly refined film Pooty Tank. Yeah, okay, sure it is. Okay, so that's a lot to take in. We've got a lot more to do. I'm gonna call it there for today. When we come back next time, we've got more rooms to explore, more puzzles to solve. It's an amazing game, but it's like the meta narrative is so aggressive. I think that's the best word for describing this game so far. It's aggressively meta. And I like it. I do like it. Oh, we also figured out how to maybe we also figured out how to maybe open up that east balcony lock with the little girl. God, there's a lot left to do, and I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are too. As always, Pilachu, Gorilla Wolf, thank you for joining me and watching today. To anybody watching the VOD in the future, hope you enjoyed it as well. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Until then, enjoy your Monday. Have a good week. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.